Yay Networks.
Hello, everybody. I am so pumped that you're here with me today. Thank you for all of you that have, man, you've been supporting me, you've been loving me, you partner with me, you share these podcasts with people, you've made this podcast so successful. To my team, man, to Manson that's helping drive this thing in the back end. Thank you for elevating. You know, I'm reminded of Manson always comes here once a month and we sit and we tape all these podcasts, and every single place I go like I just did an event in Florida. We did their podcast. Like I'm on all these people's podcasts, and they got to have like all these people, and they're, beating the pavement for their podcast. And I'm always reminded of God's grace on my life and just how he brings the right people in my life. And like Manson, if Manson don't know what to do, he'll go Google it. I mean, he'll go figure it out. He'll teach himself on a YouTube. I'm just so grateful for this year, for the success of this podcast. And it could not happen if it weren't for you and my team. And so thank you guys for loving me. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. In fact, if you are new here and you have not subscribed, wherever you're listening to this podcast or wherever you're watching it, just push that subscribe button. And every single time that I'm ever on, you'll get notified. I also have an RTK inner circle that you need to be a part of. And if you are like, man, I'm so lonely, I don't have any friends, maybe you're starting over, maybe you feel like you're isolated in your world, that's where the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy us. He isolates us, and he makes us shut down in depression, and we start acting like we're gonna win a reward for being depressed. And then all of a sudden we walk around, and sometimes we get to a place where we like the attention being broken gets us, and we become a victim in our own story. And my commitment to you is that any place that you choose to follow me or allow me to be a voice in your ear, that give me 30 days, give me 90 days with you. And one thing that I can promise you is you cannot stay stuck. If you really want to get unstuck, you cannot stay stuck hanging out with me, right? You cannot stay stuck. I won't let you. You got to get some people in your life that literally will remind you of your destiny and won't let you be pitiful, but will help you be powerful. And so be a part of my world. We're starting 2024 in a month, few change days, and you're the only one that can decide. I ain't walking in 2024 with the same spirit, with the same anger, with the same resentment, with the same feeling sorry for myself. I'm breaking some stuff off of me. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, you can do anything for 30 days. I'm reminded of in October, we did a whole month called Droptober. And I mean, there's some people still doing Droptober in November. And they're saying, man, I mean, there's one lady that literally this year walking with me, she's lost 46 pounds. There's another, I mean, all my prayer calls every morning that I do at 8 a.m. on all my social media platforms, I hear of people that took their life back. You know, this year, I also, a couple of months ago, dropped this book, You Gotta Get Up. You gotta get up. And the reason I wrote this book was because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But if we can get in front of our emotions and we can begin to take back our lives and we refuse to allow a season in our life to define our lifetime, you know what? You gotta get up. You gotta get a community. You gotta start talking to yourself. You gotta reframe your thinking. And I will help you do that. So today, this podcast, we're talking about how to fix your mental and emotional self and how to keep it in check. Some of us are just so emotional, and we got to take the E off of emotion and put motion into action. I'm believing in you. We're about to chop it up. Go get your Real Talk Kim journal, your RTK podcast journal. Get you a pen, and let's get busy getting ourselves ready to be all that God created us to be. So going to a break, and then we'll be right back. Don't you miss it. I'll see you in a minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I got to get me a song. Y'all know I got to get me a song for this podcast. Welcome back. Y'all know that was Cotter. Y'all remember that? Welcome back. Some of y'all need to say that to yourself right now. Welcome back. You should have died, but you didn't. You should have given up, but you didn't. When those people walked out on you, you got back up again and started believing in yourself. You're a generational curse breaker. Sometimes you just gotta just get crazy, get loud, baby, and believe in yourself. This whole month, y'all know for the last couple of months, I've brought guests in, right? And this month, I thought we're going to go back and I'm just going to sit and teach in front of the camera for a couple of weeks. And then I'll bring some guests in. So you just never know what you're going to get on this podcast, okay? You getting guests one week and the next week, I might have a surprise up my sleeve. But one thing you don't want to do is miss one episode, okay? So here we are. We're going to talk about emotions. I want you to right now just ask yourself, am I a good friend? Am I a good spouse? Am I lovable? Or do I have walls built up around myself? Afraid of love, afraid of being hurt, afraid of rejection. And now I am sabotaging my whole life. I used to be so emotional, y'all. Like literally, I remember one day being at a funeral of a friend of mine. This was probably when I was about 39. And I'm sitting in that funeral and I look around and there's like 1,000 people at this funeral. And I'm like, man, ain't nothing like mortality, right? Being around somebody that died that you never thought was gonna die. Like they are bigger than life and then they are gone. That's why you got to make sure you loving everybody and you ain't letting your little pride, because you never know when someone's going to be gone. And I'm sitting in this place and I'm like, if I died, I wouldn't have a Facebook memorial page. Like I ain't got no friends. I am so afraid of rejection and abandonment. I've been carrying this crap my whole life. And I hate me. And I gotta fix me. I was so emotional. Yo, I was so controlling that I would literally like put my opinion in places that my nose didn't even belong. I definitely wasn't minding my own business. I was always in everybody else's business because I didn't want to deal with my own, okay? I was gossipy. I was messy. And I didn't have no friends. My own sons would have probably let me burn up in a house if it was on fire because I was so mean that they would be scared to come wake me up because I was just letting my past dictate my feelings. And I was walking around carrying my feelings. I was allowing myself to every day talk about what they did to me and what they did to me and what they didn't do. It was always everybody else's fault. And I remember probably about 39 when I was sitting at that funeral. I was like, man, I gotta fix me. Did I change overnight? No. Because it took me all these years to become this protected person, right? This person that was hurting people because I was hurting. So it took a minute, but I was determined to fix me. I was determined to fall in love with Kim. It took me many years. It took me really a lot of years, but every year I got better. Every month I got better. Every season I was looking back at my journal, man, because I'm a journal girl, looking at how I used to handle situations. Y'all ever see those time hops come up on Facebook? Okay. And you're thinking, I am mortified that I would ever post something like that, right? It's like, there's nothing like that time hop to humble your butt. Like, girl, you have not always had it together. You better show some empathy, right? And that season is when 39 years old, when I really stopped complaining about working at Bloomingdale's. I stopped complaining about having no friends. And I realized it's because I wasn't a friend, right? I stopped feeling sorry for myself. My brother got everything handed to him. No, girl, you just made a lot of bad choices that got you in this place. Now you got to realize that, take ownership of it, so you stop repeating these cycles. And I started realizing that my emotions were crazy. And I was walking around not doing a good job with fixing my emotions. So let's talk. For many of us, life in the last few years has been a never-ending roller coaster. We've gone through pandemic. Some of us walked through divorce for the second time. Some of y'all 3, 4, 5. It's okay. When you get yourself healed, the next one's going to be amazing, right? We've all gone through the ups and downs, the work, the social life, relationships, the whatnot. And on top of that, there's social pressure we face that can be really heavy and take a heavy toll on our mental and our emotional health, leaving us scrambling for some semblance of stability. I'm reminded right now, if you're active on social media, like I'm an influencer on social media, and I see a lot, and I get a lot of hate sometimes because, I got Christians that'll literally be like, you ain't using your platform. You ain't talking about Israel. You ain't talking enough about Black Lives Matter. You're not talking about hell enough. They will come at me. And the social pressure of feeling bullied, if I don't know who I am, could cause me to reflect. It will come out of my pores, man, of feeling like it ain't never enough. So every single day of my life, y'all, I got to wake up and lay hands on myself and say, God, I know what you've called me to. And today I pray earmuffs on my ears. I pray eye goggles, spiritual goggles, so that I don't get caught up in what they are saying or they are doing or what they expect of me. And I can stay focused on the lane that you've called me to. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I've got so much joy in my life now. I'm living my best life because now I'm realizing, God, you trusted me. You didn't trust them with this. You trusted me. And I'm going to handle it the way you would want me to handle it, not the way they expect me to handle it. And I'm going to make sure that every day of my life, I'm doing what you would have me do. And I'm going to stop sabotaging my life, trying to get people that are hell-bent on misunderstanding me to dictate my life. I'm going to stop allowing myself to talk about the bad people that walked out on me and lying on me. No. And I'm going to focus on the ones that love me. That's the problem when we are emotional. How do I fix myself mentally and emotionally? Y'all listen to me. Emotional and mental health is one of the most important aspects of our lives because let's be real. How can you move ahead in life if your mind and emotions are in a disarray? Repairing your health, repairing your mental health, maintaining your mental strength is going to help you improve your confidence. You know what I do? Every single time I start feeling like, oh my God, like I pay attention to even people I talk to on the phone. I pay attention to how I feel when I get off the phone with somebody and I'm like, man, why did my day shift? Why all of a sudden I start feeling heaviness? I stopped letting people have access to me like they used to have access to me. I stopped trying to right the wrongs and let the wrong be gone. I stopped giving CPR to dead situations. I stopped lying to myself about some people. They didn't really mean that. Yes, they did. And I got to let it go and I got to forgive and I got to move forward and I can't keep dragging baggage. You know, we have a whole series next month at Limitless Church called Let It Go. Let it go. You get on a plane and you trust that pilot with your life. But you don't trust God with your life. You trust people in your life that you trust your boss. You working yourself to the bones. You missing all kinds of stuff with your kids because you working overtime trying to please somebody. When your day ended at 5 o'clock and you still there beating the payment, trying to get approval from somebody that just pays you minimal. No, you got to begin to realize, man, I'm worth more. What comes out of my mouth is life changing. So I got to get my heart right because what's in my heart comes out of my mouth, and life and death and the power of my words. And I got to change some things. So listen to me. Here's what I want you to write down in your journal. When you fix your mental health, hold on, I'm not at number 1 yet. When you fix your mental and emotional health, you become stronger. You become more fearless in the face of challenges and problems. And keeping your emotional and mental health in check also prevents all kinds of negative thoughts, self-doubt, and wallowing in self-pity. I see people at my church and in my RTK inner circle all the time. They always lifting their hands. I just had a setback. I'm just so worn out. I'm just so tired. And every single week they need another breakthrough because they won't regroup. They won't allow themselves to be used of God. They won't allow themselves to forgive themselves for stuff in their life that they didn't know no better, right? You got to finally say, I'm tired of this. Just because I have a bad day doesn't mean it's a bad life, right? Was it really a bad day? Or did you let a conversation change your mood, right? So here's number 1. Write this down. Normalize feeling all emotion. If you're wondering, how do I fix myself? How do I fix myself? This is what I'm going to title this podcast. How do I fix myself? To fix yourself, then you got to look within. The fixing begins with acceptance. Not all emotions are good, and I understand that, but that does not make those emotions unacceptable. Battling and bottling up your emotions only work to decline and reduce your mental health. So normalize feeling all emotion. And remember that 3-second rule? I ain't holding on to this. I got 3 seconds to let it go. It hurt. It didn't feel good, but I'm going to let it go. Number 2, take a break and focus on self. Sometimes you got to get off social media. Sometimes you got to have a conversation with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your best friend. And you got to say, y'all, I am walking through 30 days of finding me because I let you have too much control of my emotions. And I've allowed myself to let you and your issues mess me up. So 30 days, you might still hear from me, but very few minutes you can have. Because I got to get to a place where I don't let you move me. You and my family, you can't go nowhere. We're blood. But I can take away your power to reduce me and to make me feel like I am chopped liver. I need to get to a place where I realize I control my emotions. So for 30 days, you're going to have limited access to me. I love you, but I gotta look within. All right? No matter what you do, if you can't care for yourself, you won't be able to care for your loved ones. So take a break and try to focus on yourself for once. Remember 2 podcasts ago, I said, be kind to yourself this time. Because we always put ourselves on the back burner. We always beat ourselves up. We always thinking, oh my God, I'm so broke. I'm so this, I'm so that. And fix it. Stop sabotaging your life with your own words. Here's number 3. Adopt healthy coping habits. Adopt healthy coping habits, right? Learning how to cope with your emotions also helps answer the question, how do I fix myself? All you need to do is understand that the little habits you engage, your mental health, all the stress, the way you handle it, the way you process it, it ain't working. If you always falling apart, you're always bleeding on people that didn't cut you, listen to me. The pain may not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. Stop liking the attention being broken gets you. And stop taking medicine to people that like to be sick. Yo, everybody's not your assignment. That's why some of you are tired, right? Make sure you adopt healthier coping habits. For example, instead of wallowing in self-pity, try to practice journaling. Try to practice meditating on the Lord. Like, God, you know what I'm going through. show me how to process this. Because sometimes you're praying for God to change a situation and he's wanting that situation to change you. Yeah. So change the way you're handling it. Here's number 4. Check in with your companion. Check in with your BFF. Check in with your companion, right? The people you hang around with can also leave an impression on your mental and emotional self. Positive people can replenish your mental strength, whereas negative people take the strength you have left and leave you empty. So you got to ask yourself, if I'm always feeling sucked dry from this person, I can take away the straw. You know what else I discovered? Birds of a feather flock together. When you start getting yourself together, they no longer are connected to you. They no longer relate to you, right? So they remove themselves, and you got to be okay with that. Because new levels, new devils. The quicker I realize there's some people that can't go on this trip with me, and that's okay. It's okay, because God's going to bring the right people in my life to help elevate me. Here's number 5. Help others to help yourself. Help others to help yourself. Help others to help yourself. What do you mean, Kim? Did you know that helping others can help us? Volunteering at the homeless shelter. Serving at your church. Y'all know when I got free? Oh, the queen of being a victim in my own story. You know how I started helping me? My Facebook. I started doing little 1-minute videos in my car. Living at my mom and daddy's. I started saying things to myself. Like today, I sensed breakthrough. I may not have sensed breakthrough at all, but I said, my words have power. And I would go on there and I would do a video about not quitting, about praising your way through, right? Y'all, before I knew it, I would look under my post and there would be all these people saying, you must be a fly on the wall in my house. You don't know how much this helped me. And before I knew it, I was free of depression. Helping others helps you. Here's number 6. So that means just get involved. Get involved at your church. Serve at the door. Serve in the parking lot. Serve in the coffee bar. Serve in the nursery. Serve on the praise team. Serve on the media team. Just stop wallowing and serve, and you will watch everything you're walking through that's making you feel stuck will fall off of you. Here's number 6. Work on your goals. Work on your health goals. Work on your mental goals, right? This ain't working for me, so I'm going to do this. Y'all know at the beginning of 2023, I started running. I ran for 4 months and took y'all with me. I'd show you my butt out on that trail. But then you know what? I realized all this is doing is making me look like a pole. I want to have muscle density. You know what I did? I went and joined LA Fitness. And I said, for 3 times a week or 4 times a week, I'm going to push weight. And all of a sudden, I started seeing definition. The running wasn't working for me anymore. I didn't want to be straight. I wanted to be cut. And so allow yourself to rework your goals as you grow. Stop just saying, well, I said I was going to do this, so this is what I'm going to do. You are limiting your future by doing that. All right. Number 7, shake up your routine. Not everyone likes changing their routine, and it's understandable, but routines give us a sense of normalcy and even a sense of stability. But sometimes a change in routine can do wonders for your mental health. Instead of going to the park, go to the gym. Get uncomfortable with people staring at you at the gym. Honey, you know what I've learned working at the gym? I can't be no pansy because people watching. When I'm out on that trail, I can just sit down when I want to. Change up your routine, right? You ain't sat down at your table and ate with your family in forever. Implement it this whole month. We're going to sit down and we're going to have lunch together, breakfast together. We're going to have dinner together. Just do something. Play game night. Implement something that's going to change things, right? Number 8, learn to be self-compassionate. Give yourself a doggone break. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate, today I woke up and I don't want to kill him. God, don't kill him, just hurt him. Baby steps. Today, wake up. Celebrate the small wins. Give yourself compassion. Be intentional. That's my word, man, intentional. Learn some Bible verses. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Proverbs 3, trust in the Lord with all my heart, lean not on my own understanding, in all my ways acknowledge him and he will direct my path. Today, get you some verses that will combat that negativeness, because life is gonna life. Things ain't always gonna be great. But when you know how to pull yourself up out of that pit, baby, what? Everything changes. Listen, I'm gonna give you a second to breathe, because I know I've been hitting y'all between the eyes on these podcasts the last 3 weeks. We've been digging deep because I feel like it is so important, man, to walk into 2024 with no baggage. All right, so I'm gonna give you a breath, just a break, small break, to go use the restroom. Phone a friend. Say, man, Real Talk Kim is in my lap. And I think this word's gonna be good for you too. All right? I love you. I'll be right back in just a second for my final thoughts and 2 more tips. I love you guys. Be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So my producer just told me that we're in the month right now of Let It Go at Limitless. So you're probably been viewing every Sunday with me, and this whole month I am lighting your tail on fire at Limitless, right? And so this is the month. I didn't realize that this podcast right here, that's the month we're in. So let it go, right? So I'm back with just 2 more tips for yourself to get yourself free from holding yourself back, because nobody is holding you back but you, boo. Yo, ex, people telling the truth about you because you changed. You ain't nay-naying no more. Now you praying. You used to be the devil's advocate, but now you walking around positive. And I'm going to tell you something else. Ain't nowhere in the world, no tip, nothing, nobody says that you can't now advocate for something you used to have a problem with. When God delivers you, baby, you got all the wherewithal on the inside of you to talk about what God set you free from. And don't you let nobody mute you. Don't you let no family member tell you what you talking about. Girl, your life's been a mess. Who are you to say anything about relationships? You've been married a couple of times. Honey, you are the very one to talk about stuff you've made it through. You hear me? So don't let nobody beat you up and say you ain't got the wherewithal to say stuff because you used to battle with that. Oh, yes, you do. You got all the oil now, because when you went to hell, you came out on fire. You hear me? All right, so here's number 9. Accept the change. Yep, you got to accept the change, baby. And you got to get so focused that when stuff comes at you, you don't let it hinder you or knock you off base. Accept the change. When you are looking for the answer to how can I mentally fix myself, how can I fix my emotions, it's not far. All you need to do is embrace your past, but not let it affect your present. You hear me? It's all about accepting the change you go through. Not all changes are bad. And while some changes might leave a scar behind, it's just signifying what you made it through. You hear me? So let go of all the wounds. Stop bleeding on people that didn't cut you. Realize God turns scars to stars, and he uses your pain as a pulpit. Number 10, seek help. Stop acting like you don't need help. We all need somebody, right? Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. That's an old song. Y'all, embrace you. Lean on a friend. Get in my RTK inner circle. Lean on me. Let me help you grow, man. Get you a bunch of people that are going in the same direction as you. You know what? You are so important. You are so valuable. You are so necessary. And when God was creating you, baby, he was so proud. He didn't make a mistake with you. You hear me? You were put on this earth to make a dent in history. You're a legacy carrier. You are a chain breaker. You are a generational curse breaker. You are all that in a bag of chips. And it ain't never too late for you to start. Y'all know I didn't preach my first sermon till I was 41 years old. And man, since my new book, You Gotta Get Up, came out, I'm talking about a lot of stuff that's made me uncomfortable, but it's my truth. And so today, get up, high five yourself, baby. Celebrate the small wins and be the change you want to see. All right? I love you. Lord, be with my friends. Lord, I pray that in November, that God, we are falling back in love with you and ourselves, and we're making history by changing generational curses in our lives. God, we ain't looking for victory. We already victorious, and the joy of the Lord is our strength. In Jesus' name, you're free right now. You are free and free indeed. When you fall, get back up again. When you fall, get back up again. And before you know it, you're going to have a little bounce in your step. And every time you fall, you're going to bounce up and go to a whole nother level. Remember, elevation requires separation. All right. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing this podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you, thank you, thank you for loving me. And I love you. And I'll see you next week. Real Talk Kim. Go follow me on all my social media platforms as Real Talk Kim, and go to realtalkkim.com. Get in my inner circle and be a part of my world. If you're in Atlanta, I'll see you at Limitless Sunday, 10 and 11:30 across from Whitewater High School. Love y'all so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yay Networks.